Today is about showing CommonGround as a project and product. And I'm not sure, I think most people here in the call have already seen CommonGround in the past and have used it in the past. We are currently also exploring ways to improve our app. So any feedback is welcome. So everyone who's watching this, please come to us, come to the CommonGround community as I'm highlighting here. We have feedback channels, we have help channels and discussion channels. So you can come to our community and give us feedback about what you think. Or just reach out on the RnDAO Discord, this also works. So, CommonGround. We are basically a project that started as the idea to create an open source Discord alternative that is Web3 aligned and also does some things better than Discord did them in the past. So CommonGround starts off as a content exploration platform, not only content, but also in a broader sense, topic exploration platform. We've recently reworked the platform to align more with the tagging system so that we can tag content as being in some categories, and we are exploring ways if we can improve that to foster ecosystems and also foster like communities working together more closely. So you see that the start page starts off as a feed where communities that are on CommonGround can post articles to or can post posts to. This is like a broad collection of all the communities that we have on CommonGround. It's also a bit my personal feed because it highlights more stuff that is from my own communities, obviously. There's a community discovery where you can take a look to find communities that match your interests. We have a lot of communities like smaller interest groups, but also communities from bigger projects. Yeah, so it's good to just explore them and see what's there. The third thing we offer, and that is a functionality we've added just recently, and one of the functionalities that we think is one of the biggest value propositions that CommonGround has, is the ability to build your own apps and integrate your own apps into your communities. So most apps, or a lot of apps in the Web3 context, have websites that you can use, and we've just started to explore how well these integrate with CommonGround. So, for example, the Binance PancakeSwap website just works as a CommonGround plugin without further adjustments. We've also added some of our own plugins. So Florian has built plugins that mostly solve issues for communities. So for example, discussion boards, an onboarding plugin. And my personal use case was to build a gaming plugin to make the gaming use case for CommonGround more attractive. So that's my pet project here in the App Store. And other than that, you see that a lot of the other plugins are made by our communities. So our communities also added their own plugins and games that can then be used by other communities too. So much about the exploration on the page. Also, we have some more information about the CommonGround token and everything that revolves around the token on the token page. This is currently a little stale, but we are updating it right now because let's just say some important updates are going to happen very soon. But I will show that in a minute. So this is the token page, which currently just shows our old token sale, but you can also get more information about the CommonGround token distribution and ways to get the CommonGround token on the token page. CommonGround as a platform also offers direct messages. So you see here that I have personal messages that look a bit like Telegram or WhatsApp. I'm not going to go into my personal chats here right now, but it works the same as in other apps. We also offer notifications, and these can also be configured to come to your device as push notifications. One thing I think we need to solve better in the future is that not all people on all devices enable notifications, because I think we don't highlight it well enough in the UX yet on the user journey where to enable notifications, but this is something we will also improve. If you come to CommonGround and go to the notifications tab, you will see an option here to enable notifications. So if you haven't done that, please give it a try. So now to the most important point about CommonGround. We are actually a community platform. So here you see the start page of our own CommonGround community. Everybody is welcome to join our community and hang out with us, especially lots of people who are revolving around our project. So for example, JS10 is a pretty cool young developer from Malaysia who's hanging out with us for years now, and he's part of the project basically. We have a lot of other people who have been close to the project for a while, and we're a pretty nice community, so come check us out. So the community options, basically, you can set up your own community like you can do on other platforms. And if you click your community name, you see that you have a community settings option here. You can update the info of your community. You can add links to your community, write a public text. We also offer premium tiers that mostly unlock better video calls with more people. So we have several video call features, but I'm going to show a bit more about that later. But our free tier already offers quite big video calls that most communities are fine with from the size, I suppose. You can also get a custom community URL here. That's a one-time change, but yeah. Communities have onboarding settings, so you can configure your community onboarding for new people in a very personalized way. You can give them messages, you can have them make them accept your terms of service and things like that. We also have a newsletter feature for communities that is currently whitelist only, so communities can request to unlock it. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but if you want to send newsletters from your community to your members, then please reach out to us in the CommonGround channels. You also can configure your community members here. In the CommonGround community, at some point I'm going to have to clean them up because lots of the people haven't been around for a while. We have like 15,000 people that joined the community over the years that we are in alpha and now beta. Not all of them come back, but we still have a broad and active user community that hangs out with us. Channels, not much to say. You can configure your community channels, you can group them into areas, and you can set up access rules for your channels. This aligns with the roles and permissions tab, but one of the magic parts of CommonGround is actually the roles and permissions settings, because you can configure roles that are automatically claimable with token gating rules. So for example, in the CommonGround community, in the token settings, I can set up several tokens. So just for fun, for example, USDC token. And you see that CommonGround supports like a lot of blockchains. We are basically fully EVM aligned. So we support most important Ethereum-based blockchains. If there's one missing or you want to add another one, please reach out to us. We can add new Ethereum-based chains pretty easily. When you then have set up tokens, you can basically use them in your roles and permissions settings. So I haven't used this in a while. You can set up claimable roles and you can set up token gated roles. Not 100% sure we have token gated roles at the moment. I think we might not have them at the moment, but this might change in the future. The last thing is the plugins section. So here you can create your own plugins, and you see that plugins mostly consist, so you can also clone plugins from other communities. This is a clone plugin, so I can't change some of the fields, but plugins have all these miraculous settings. And the cool thing is that we offer a JavaScript library that you can use to build your own community plugins that can unlock features like giving roles to your community members. You can even define what roles your plugin backend will be able to give. We have like a special mode that is for games specifically, because some games that use WebAssembly need this specific mode to work. But with all the settings, you can build like a pretty broad variant of plugins on CommonGround for your own community. So for example, Luanti is this Minecraft-like game thing that I've built. You see that I can load the game. I can basically play Minecraft right in CommonGround. And I've built this as a proof of concept that gaming right in the community is a cool use case because, for example, now I could start a call, I could hang out with other people playing the same game. I could even stream it right in the community where I'm playing it. So I think it unlocks quite an interesting new use case. Be aware that this looks really shitty because I have a local driver problem with my graphics card. So if you try it, it looks much better. But on the system I'm presenting on right now, the view distance is just very, very small. Otherwise, it won't run correctly. But on most systems, it works much nicer. Yeah, we also have the onboarding plugin that Florian built. This is a plugin that can be used by communities to define their own onboarding dialogues and wizards for their members. Onboarding wizards. Oh, I'm an admin view, sorry. This is how it looks for a normal user. So I see CommonGround, the community has multiple onboarding wizards. I can complete them, and in the end, I might get a role out of it. That role might unlock additional channels. So we have a really smooth onboarding process in communities that can be used by everyone. The other thing is existing websites and plugins mostly work really well. So for example, I've set this up as a quick showcase for the Binance ecosystem and the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem. And you see here that, for example, the pancake swap can just be embedded into a community natively. I didn't even have to change anything. I just added it as a plugin. It just works. I can connect my wallet. I'm not going to do it now, and you probably don't see the dialog because of the screen sharing. But the result of this is that if you build your own plugin, you can use your own wallet connect. You can do all of this feelers. There are no platform fees, nothing like that. So go ahead, come to CommonGround, build your own plugins, embed them in your community, and monetize and connect the plugins with your community like never before. Basically, that's our value proposal. Okay, so maybe as a final, I think how much time did I use now? Like 13 minutes, right? 12, 13 minutes?
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it. We have time.
Okay, right. All right. Um, Another thing that you can do in communities that we think is also really nice, you can schedule events. So I can not only create calls for right now, but I can also schedule events. And these events are also discoverable on the platform. So if you are in multiple communities that schedule events for a certain time, you see that they have events with images and you can join them. You can even pre-register to join them. And these events are then calls happening in the community at a certain time. You will be notified if you enabled notifications. And yeah, that's also a pretty nice feature. Currently, we don't have any upcoming events scheduled in the CommonGround community, but you see that we have some events, had some events in the past where also some people joined. And for the calls, maybe that's an interesting final point to make. For now, we have several call types. One of them is the typical group call that you know from Discord, like a call channel, right, where people just jump in. The other call is a broadcast, which is more like a Twitter space, but with video. So this is a pretty interesting format we think is super nice for Web3, but in general also for other communities, because the idea is that you can have a stage where several people can be on a video stage. You can have a broad audience of multiple hundred people. We've tested it with, I think, our own test was like with 250 people, and it worked really well. Yeah, so you can have full HD calls with several hundred people for free, and even schedule them as events. All right. From what I've prepared about showing the platform, that's about all for now. One final thing I could show is the plugin development that has been ongoing, just as a quick example. How easy it is to develop your own CommonGround plugin, because today or latest tomorrow, we will publish a new, fresh CommonGround plugin based repository that will have a lot of features and magic built in, so you don't have to do a lot of work. You will have Wallet Connect built in. You will have the CommonGround community API built in, so the plugin can interact with your community. And all of that will just work out of the box so you can focus on building a great dApp that is integrated into your community.